Hello guys, today we are going to be retouching this image here. It's from a photographer named Damanis. I'll link his Instagram handle in the description below. This is an indoor shoot that he posted a couple of months I think ago. Okay, what we're going to do today is we are going to do a little bit of frequency separation. I already went through and removed some blemishes that were in the image earlier. Let me show you. This is before. Quick zoom in. As you can see, she had these lines around here, couple of pimples that stood out, so I went in using the high frequency on frequency separation layer, and this is what I came up with. This is after and this is before, you can see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my low frequency layer using the mixer brush and the brushes, and my settings are as indicated above. The only thing that I changed here is the wetness to 9, otherwise the brush is clear. It's a clean brush. And okay, so if you are interested in frequency separation, just hit me up. I think I'll try to add a link in the description below where you can download the frequency separation. Okay, let's see what we're going to do. I'm not quite sure on what camera settings he was using for this image right here, but as you can see, the details in both the highlights and the shadows and mid-tones are really nice. So let's go in and try to see what we can do. Okay, for starters, I'm going to create a black and white layer just so I can see what where I'm going to be using my frequency separation. Okay, I think that is fine. Just okay. Back to layers. I'll start off. Let's see. If there's any specific topic that you'd like me to cover in terms of editing or retouching, just leave a comment below and we'll see what we can do. I think this is going to be a two-part series. To avoid making the video very long, I think I'm going to make a two-part series. In the next part, I will be trying to I think in the next part I'll try to color grade the image. So what I'm trying to do right now, okay, I'm trying to blend. I'm starting off blending the mid-tones just to help with the transition between the shadows and the highlights. Let's see, that's the before and that's the after. Before, after. Okay, I'm trying to blend transitions between the highlights and the the midtones here. For now, because I'm working on the black and white image, you might probably not see what I'm doing, but in due time you will. I am not I'm actually I'm a fan of frequency of how do you call it? Sorry, apologies for my rambling, but yeah, you'll notice that I'm changing the size of my brush. That's just to avoid going into areas that I think do not need to blend in. Let me see. Okay, that's the before. It's subtle, but it's there. Okay, I think. Okay, remove the black and white layer. Midtones. I wish I knew who the makeup artist was, just to give her a shout out in the description as well, because she has done an amazing work of art right here. Give credit where credit is due. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit and try to see if I can fix the skin. Today I'll be using a different kind of frequency separation, the Gaussian blur. What did I do? The Gaussian blur with what's this tool? With the lasso tool. Okay. And now I'm just going in and flattening the image. Just getting the image to be more flat. I brush out the harsh edges, minimize the brush, go in those small areas. Okay, let's see. That's the before, then that's the after. Before, you can see how you can see the transition between the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows right there. So after, you can see I kind of like blended them in, made them just smooth those areas out, and yeah, made everything look much better. Okay, we can go along and delete black and white layer. what I am going to do now is back in the frequency separation action in the layer. I will take the lasso tool and then select areas that I want to blur out some more. So areas like the forehead region here, just go with your lasso tool, pick that area up like that. Then you go to filters, blur, Gaussian blur. The idea is to try to multiply this number by 3. Let me pull the calculator right there. Let's see what number I'm going to get if I'm to multiply 140.5 multiplied by 3. It's going to give me 43.5. Let's see. I'm going to increase my radius to 43.5. And that's I think that looks perfect right there. Then I'll click OK, and then we can just continue doing this. Select an area using the lasso tool, then that area right there, and then filter, apply the Gaussian blur. This area right, sorry, do not need to go on ellipse. Okay, just there. Select the other area that I think I left out earlier. It's a nice portion to build the jawline in there. Filter, Gaussian blur. Let's try this area right here. Go a little bit down, connect to the previous area. You actually do not need to be perfect in using the lasso tool. It will always resize to different radius anyways. Okay, this might be tricky. I'm not quite sure if it's going to pick. It sometimes rejects certain areas if the pixels are okay. Perfect. See Gaussian blur. There you go. And then just remove the nose. Something like that. Okay, let's see. Let's look at that's the before, and then that's the after right there. Before, after. Let's just pull back and see how she looks from a distance. Before, after. Okay, then we can just do this area right here. Select using the lasso tool. You don't need to be perfect. Filter, Gaussian blur, that area right there. Let's see. Filter, Gaussian blur, this area underneath here. No. Filter, blur that area out. As you can see, this image is slowly getting to that point where she looks amazing. And right there, filter, Gaussian blur. Okay, one more area here. Okay, a little bit in here, but I don't want to go too much in there. Just, okay. Okay, we can close that. Okay. This is where we are currently standing. And you can see skin looks smooth and nice. This is the before. Just a recap of what I did. Using the frequency separation layer, I went in on the high frequency layer. I used I used the spot healing brush and removed a couple of spots and imperfections, like these areas right here that stood out. Cleaned a little bit of the forehead area, and then when I was done, I came into the low layer right here using the mixer brush, which is under the brushes, with the clean brush, wetness set to 9. I went in and tried to clean up, or tried to mix or merge or flatten the image by mixing the highlights between, sorry, the midtone between the highlights and the shadows, just to remove those hard edges. And then after that, I went back to the low frequency layer using the lasso tool. I just multiplied my radius. When I started off, my radius was set to 40, so I multiplied that by 3, so it gave me a radius of 43.5. So I went in with the lasso tool, selected a couple of areas, went to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then I just put that 43.5 there, and then I did the blurring out, and this is the current image that we stand on. So in the next video, I'll do a little bit of dodge and burn, just trying to bring back some of the edge, just to contour the image nicely. And yeah, so if you're interested in the frequency separation layer, I'll put it in the link below. You can download it and you can follow along. If there's any question, drop down in the comment section, and yeah, see you in the next one. Thank you.